As the search for Travis Decker nears the 3-month mark, investigators continue to build the case against him for the deaths of his 3 daughters. KENWA's Molly Shen joins me with new information from the Chelan County Sheriff's Office. Molly.
Mary, the state crime lab has now completed its DNA analysis on evidence found at the crime scene, and they say it reinforces the belief that Travis Decker killed his 3 daughters and that he acted alone. The bodies of Paityn, Evelyn, and Olivia Decker were found near the Rock Island campground in early June. Those girls had been suffocated with plastic bags over their heads. The Washington State Crime Lab analyzed those bags as well as numerous cable ties that were scattered around the scene. Other than DNA from the girls, they only found the DNA profile of Travis Decker. They say this indicates he is the only suspect. Decker has not been seen since he first picked up the girls from their mother's house for that visitation. While the search for him continues, there is no...
Imagine the most damning piece of evidence in a crime. A fingerprint, a confession. Now, imagine a father's DNA, not just on one, but on every single plastic bag and every single cable tie used to suffocate his 3 young daughters. A new, horrifying truth has emerged from the shadows of this case, and it confirms the darkest patterns of human behavior. The air in Chelan County, Washington usually hangs heavy with the scent of pine and the promise of adventure, a place where families come to escape, to breathe, to reconnect with nature and each other. But on June 2, 2025, the tranquility of one such campground shattered, revealing a horror so profound it would send ripples of fear and disbelief across the nation. The abandoned truck was the first sign, parked haphazardly as if its driver had fled in haste, leaving behind a chilling question mark in the dust. Inside, personal belongings hinted at a family outing gone terribly wrong. But it was what lay just a short distance away, concealed within the dense undergrowth, that would plunge this community into an unimaginable nightmare. 3 sisters, Paityn, Evelyn, and Olivia Decker. Young lives extinguished in a way that defies comprehension. Suffocated. Their small bodies discovered near their father's truck, each concealed with a cold, impersonal plastic bag and secured with unforgiving cable ties. The innocence of childhood brutally stolen, leaving behind a void that words struggle to fill. Their father, Travis Decker, the man entrusted with their care, their protection, now the sole suspect in their murders. The updated DNA analysis confirms what many had already feared. His genetic material was found on the very items used to end their lives. The plastic bags, the cable ties, a silent, damning testament to a betrayal of the most fundamental bond. Where is Travis Decker? Is he alive, haunted by the ghosts of his daughters? Or has he vanished, leaving behind only questions and the agonizing pain of loss? The authorities offer no solace, admitting they have no concrete answers. Just the grim reality that a father is on the run, suspected of the ultimate act of violence against his own children. This case cuts to the core of our deepest fears: the vulnerability of innocence, the shattering of trust, the unimaginable darkness that can lurk within those we believe we know best. We delve into the intricate web of events that led to this tragedy, seeking answers in the shadows of the unknown. If you believe in the power of truth, if you want to understand the dark patterns that can lead to such horrific outcomes, then you need to be part of this investigation. Don't let this story fade into the background. Subscribe to Dark Patterns now. Don't just scroll past. The answers we seek might lie in the details we uncover together. For the sake of Paityn, Evelyn, and Olivia, hit that subscribe button. The updated DNA evidence is a significant piece of the puzzle, but it raises even more questions. What was Decker's motive? What happened in those final hours leading up to the discovery? And how could a father, allegedly commit such an unspeakable act? Stay with us. The truth, however dark, demands to be brought to light. Put your thoughts in the comments section. We would love to hear from you.
The timeline of a tragedy is a chilling descent. It's a slow-motion unraveling that, in hindsight, seems terrifyingly inevitable. With Travis Decker, the pattern began long before the discovery of his daughter's bodies. It was a pattern woven from mental health struggles, a fragile sense of control, and a life slowly coming undone. Travis Decker was a military man, an Army veteran with a background in the infantry. But behind the discipline and training lay a deep and turbulent inner world. According to his ex-wife's attorney, he was a man who seemed to suffer from PTSD as a result of combat. When he left the Army and joined the National Guard, his issues reportedly began to spiral, as his attorney put it. The structure he once relied on was gone, and the bumpers of the military that kept him in line were removed. In the months leading up to the murders, his life was in freefall. Court documents reveal that in September 2024, he lost overnight custody of his daughters, a blow to his co-parenting relationship and a clear indication of a deeper instability. He was living out of an RV and staying in shelters. He was reportedly having trouble at work and had even considered rehoming his beloved dog. The man who had once been a constant, if struggling, figure in his daughters' lives was now spiraling, fighting to maintain what little he had left. But even amidst this decline, there were no red flags, at least not to the mother of his children. His ex-wife's attorney stated that he was not a violent man and that he had been a good co-parent. They communicated frequently, and there were no signs of physical abuse. This, perhaps, is the most terrifying part of the story. The monster in a true crime story is rarely a monster from the outside. Sometimes he's a father, a veteran, a man fighting a quiet battle no one can see. It's a terrifying thought, isn't it, that someone could be suffering so silently, so completely, that the only outward sign is the brutal death of their own children. If this story of hidden darkness doesn't make you want to stay to the end and subscribe, then what hope is there for shedding light on these dark patterns? You owe it to yourself and to every victim to bear witness. Don't turn away from the truth. Join us. The final days of May 2025 painted a disturbing picture. On May 26th, 4 days before his daughters disappeared, Decker allegedly conducted online searches about how to move to Canada. He searched how to relocate to Canada and looked through a Canadian job site. The very next day, his cell phone data showed he drove to the very campground where the girls' bodies would be found just days later, as if conducting a reconnaissance mission for his final, desperate act. On May 30th, his daughters were reported missing after he failed to return them at the scheduled drop-off time. A frantic search began. A day later, an endangered missing persons alert was issued. And then, on June 2nd, the unimaginable happened. His abandoned truck was found near the same campground he had scouted days before. A short distance away, the three sisters were found, their lives tragically and horrifically cut short. The trail went cold. Decker was gone, but the evidence he left behind in his digital footprint and at the crime scene tells a story of a premeditated plan, of a man who didn't just snap, but who made a chilling, deliberate choice. A choice that would seal his fate and end the lives of those he was supposed to protect.
The silence is a dark pattern in and of itself, the deafening quiet that follows a horrific act. It's the kind of silence that makes you question everything. Are there people out there helping him? Or is he truly alone, a ghost wandering the landscape, a symbol of a family destroyed? We need to keep this story alive. We need to force it into the daylight. There's a reason these dark stories go viral. It's because we're scared and we want to know why. Don't you want to know why? Why not just subscribe? What are you afraid of finding out? The investigation continues with a new operational approach planned by federal partners. They're not giving up, but the truth about Travis Decker's whereabouts remains as elusive as ever. The wilderness holds its secrets, and this one is the darkest of all. The ripple effect of a true crime doesn't end with the last known sighting of a suspect. It spreads outward, a shockwave of grief, fear, and a desperate search for meaning in the face of the senseless. For the Chelan County community, and especially for the Decker family's loved ones, the tragedy of Paityn, Evelyn, and Olivia has become a catalyst for change. The mother of the three girls, Whitney Decker, has been forced to grieve in the harsh spotlight of a national manhunt. In an emotional, raw memorial service, she spoke for the first time about her daughters, painting a picture of three incredible, vibrant little girls. She said that Evelyn would have loved to ooh and ah over all your outfits, and
Paityn was always telling her, "You look beautiful, Mom." It was a heartbreaking glimpse into the beautiful lives that were so cruelly extinguished. This is a story of a family and a community trying to hold on to the memory of innocence in a world that has been tainted by a dark, unimaginable act. The public reaction has been an outpouring of grief and a demand for justice. This case has become a lightning rod for broader issues, with calls for reform in the very systems that were supposed to protect the girls. The court system and the Amber Alert program are now under scrutiny. The mother's attorney has publicly stated that the system failed Travis Decker, a veteran who struggled with mental health issues. But it was also a system that, for some, did not go far enough to protect the children. There have been events organized by family friends and advocates urging for a cadence law and other legislative changes to prioritize child safety in family court. The question echoes through the community: could this tragedy have been prevented if the system had intervened differently? The Chelan County Sheriff, Mike Morrison, has been candid about the emotional toll on his department and the community. He has spoken about the devastating impact on parents who have to explain this horror to their children, many of whom were friends or classmates of the Decker sisters. He said that they cannot fail, because if they do, the voices of Paityn, Evelyn, and Olivia will not be heard.